even with PCOS and thyroid cancer. But this isn't just about my story, as inspiring as I hope this is. We're going to dive into the science of how this medication actually works. So before we jump in, a super important disclaimer. This video is about my experience with Wegovy. I am not, nor have I ever been mistaken for a medical professional. So this is not medical advice. Before you start any kind of weight loss program or any kind of workout program, basically anything that involves your health, you should always consult your doctor. Why would you listen to a random person on YouTube or always check with your doctor and see if this is the right medication for you. Alright, let's do this. So my life before Wegovy, for years I was on every kind of diet imaginable. You sort of name it, I did it. Keto, I did Atkins, I did intermittent fasting, I did the Effect, I did Weight Watchers, I had tried not eat either. I did a bunch of things to try to lose weight. It wasn't working. Or if it did work, it would basically slow and then weight would come back on and I would wind up being heavier than I was when I started to diet. It was the constant battle. It was my body and my brain because I was constantly hungry. I was starving. I was looking to give into cravings. I had cravings all the time. That's how it was. So it was obviously very exhausting, disheartening. It does not help with motivation when you're struggling that much. So it was tough. And so for me, there was an additional complexity. I was diagnosed with PCOS with my endocrinologist. Oftentimes, PCOS can have it can show up in a lot of different ways. My particular case, this was insulin resistant PCOS, which essentially means my body wasn't affecting the insulin that it was producing on its own. So that typically leads to higher blood sugar levels, and that makes it very difficult to lose weight. It felt like my metabolism was real bad, garbage, basura. And so no matter how much I tried, I felt like I was just not getting anywhere. So what led me to Wegovy? After many tries, I obviously wanted to get in better shape, to look my best. And I wound up losing about 50 pounds. And I did that just really trying to eat as best as I could and really trying on the exercise. I'm really getting in there, really trying. However, the weight came back with the dieting on my own, but then I had seen the weight just like come all the way back. The FDA started approved Wegovy for weight loss. And so my doctor brought it up to me and I was a little hesitant because your girl was not trying to inject herself with anything. I was like, ooh, that's a little scary.
Spooky, ooky, kooky, and creepy.
But she said that she had a lot of patients with insulin resistance that had success so far, so I was willing to give it a try. Besides being hesitant, I was also incredibly hopeful for some really good results because I was like at the end of my patience with my body at that point. Okay, so let's get into the science of how Wegovy works. This is the part I'm most excited to explain because I really didn't understand at first how the drug worked and why it worked so well for me, specifically with my insulin resistance. So once you understand how it works, I think it really clicks. And the key player here is something called a GLP-1. It stands for glucagon-like peptide 1. Yeah. Your body actually already makes this naturally. This is the natural hormone that your gut releases after you eat. And so you can think of it like your body's natural like fullness signal or even a brake pedal for your appetite. It's telling your brain, we've had enough food, we're good. And so the thing for many of us who struggle with our weight, our natural GLP-1s don't really work as effectively as they should. And for someone like me who has insulin resistance, due to the PCOS, our bodies are oftentimes more predisposed to these type of metabolic challenges. So it makes it really hard to manage your weight with just eating right and movement. So that's where Wegovy comes in. So Wegovy is a mimic or an agonist of GLP-1. So it's like your body's natural GLP-1s, but it's like super powered and it's really long lasting. So imagine your GLP-1 is like a walkie-talkie that lasts for like a few minutes. Wegovy is a super strong signal, give you broadcast for like 2 weeks straight. And this sustained signal is what gives people lasting, and that's what makes it so effective. And so this super powered GLP-1 works in 3 different little magical ways. It is the triple threat. So the first way is that it is an appetite suppressant in your brain. Wegovy travels to your brain and it tells it it's not as hungry. So for me, that was pretty big because that reduced all that food noise that was inside my head all the time telling me that I was very hungry and you wanted to eat something delicious and tasty, and it had to be tasty good.
Lay off me, I'm starving.
Those constant thoughts about what I was gonna eat, when I was gonna eat it, when am I eating next, started to like quiet way down. So it would help those like hunger pangs and cravings, and it made it genuinely much easier to eat right and make good decisions when you're not constantly feeling deprived or starving. And the second way is feeling fuller and longer in your stomach. This one is super interesting. So Wegovy slows down the time your food moves through your stomach, and this is called gastric emptying. So what does that mean for you? Food is going to stay in your stomach a bit longer. So you're gonna feel fuller sooner during a meal, and you're gonna feel fuller longer after that meal. While the primary role in weight loss isn't directly through blood sugar, Wegovy does help you manage your blood sugar. It helps your pancreas release insulin when blood sugar is high, and then it reduces glucagon, which is a hormone that raises blood sugar. So this particular aspect of it for me was very beneficial given that I have insulin resistance. So it helped my body respond more effectively to insulin and manage my blood sugar. And it addressed one of the key metabolic challenges I was having with PCOS. And so that better blood sugar management can also play a huge role in reducing of cravings and potentially reducing fat storage. So three actions put together: eat fewer calories throughout the day, and that will eventually compound, and that leads to sustainable weight loss. For some of us, it's not about the willpower body getting the right signals. So let's talk about my actual experience with it. I started at the lowest dose and went after 2 weeks, and then I would jump up to the next dose every month. I had this covered by my insurance because of my PCOS, and so I was very fortunate that I had a very low co-payment for this, and this made it affordable and accessible for me. That's not the case for everybody. In my case, I was lucky that I was able to have it covered. And so you can see that once I sort of got to that highest dose, the weight came off a lot quicker. I would say this, coupled with the fact that I had an opportunity to really eat more nutritiously, sealed the deal. And then compounding that with an increase in my movement, I became very active on Peloton, which that will probably be on my next video. We'll talk about that and its role in my weight loss journey. Essentially, the mix of my portion control being corrected, my insulin and my blood sugar being at optimal levels, me choosing better food, and me increasing my movement all were crucial in being able to aid me in this weight loss. This tool is exactly that. It's not going to be a miracle drug. It's not going to change your mental eating habits while you are physically not hungry and you are mentally not getting that signal. You still have to adapt and make better choices about the food that you're going to be eating. And for me, I started to prioritize protein, and I started to, get as many greens in as I could. With that said, looking back on that, I think I could have done a better job at eating more whole foods and eating less processed foods. That's something that I'm working on now. And this whole thing is a journey, right? Fitness and health is not a destination. It is a lifelong journey. I'm always hoping to get better, and that's something that we'll do together here. This whole thing is a journey, right? Fitness and health is not a destination. It is a lifelong journey. I'm always hoping to get better, and that's something that we'll do together here. But I really wasn't eating as much as I really wasn't eating enough calories, and I think it's difficult for people when they are on this medication to really get in the nutrients that they need. One thing that came out of this was, from that rapid weight loss, a lot of hair. I lost a lot of the volume of my hair. It's just starting to come back now, and this is like 2 years later, after really eating right and vitamins and this and that. But the rapid weight loss can have some effects that are not positive. Other things, my skin was very loose around my stomach when I had initially lost the weight, but now that I've been working out for the last couple of years, it's really much tighter, much tighter. And I could probably continue to do what I'm doing, and then it'll probably be perfectly fine. But So theoretically, I would probably prioritize better food, some things that were like processed. I think I would naturally lean in on like protein bars and protein shakes, like that, just trying to get in as much protein as I could, which is what you should do. But I didn't do a good job of getting it from natural sources. So I'm much better about that now, and that's something that we could talk about in another video. But this one was about Wegovy and my experience with it, and I hope that this was helpful for you if you are thinking about starting your journey with a GLP-1, or if you are trying to support someone in your life that is thinking about starting a GLP-1. Definitely like this video, hit subscribe button so that you can be the first to know when more content is coming your way. Bye friends, thanks for watching.